owner. This man has real estate. This man has clubs, a whole lot of things. So he was there to do something. He came there. Ti invited him to come to perform. He came there to perform, and it got into a conflict. Because somebody was just being petty. Now everybody want to put street code to it. It don't got nothing to do with the street code because this wasn't a street situation. This is a man that came into a place with a firearm looking for trouble. If he knew, and this is why I say with the Casanova thing, if he knew that it was going to be trouble, why come to Irving Plaza and cause this man to lose his life, banger, and cause Troy Ave to be going to prison and himself going to prison and having other people get shot in the cause of his transgressions of trying to go at this man?
Not to put any, I want to make it clear so that we don't get these misconstrued. Did I just hear you say basically like Troy Ave really never was really about that particular street life, and he was,
No, what I mean is Troy Ave is like anybody. Like when Jay-Z said, "I retired from the drug game," that means I retired from the streets.
Right.
Everybody look at it as okay, but you say you're street. No, it's sometimes you have a pivot. People pivot. 50 Cent pivot. A lot of these people pivot. They don't stay into that lane. So a lot of guys that hasn't graduated to the lane of, well, I'm not in the streets no more. I'm a legitimate businessman. Troy Ave is a legitimate businessman. And that's what people got to understand. He's a legitimate businessman. He doesn't have anything to prove with the street code because the streets is a myth.
Let's talk about it. That was my next question. Let's talk about the streets as a myth. Why is the streets as a myth? Talk to me, Gotti.
I think the streets is a myth because a lot of these guys hold on to this whole code. And a lot of these guys are either snitches or they're just people that just playing double agents. Because in my opinion, I feel that if you can hold on to the streets till you in your 40s and 50s, still saying that you street, that's something wrong right there. You have to graduate as a person, as a man. Okay. A lot of these dudes that say they street and they real, they don't even own no real estate. They don't even own a house. They don't even own nothing in their block. Just being honest. So a lot of these guys they'll push this down, just like how they got on with you, man. Right. A lot of these guys get on with you, but you more gangster than them because this is why I respect Maine. Maine owns property. Maine has his wife, his family, all straight. He's able to buy nice things, buy a new car. He's able to live a great life. And he doesn't have to wait for somebody to try to kill him in these streets. That's gangster. Somebody that's taking care of their family, that's buying a house, that has real estate, that has businesses. That's gangster than these fucking dudes that's holding on to the street code.
Respect. I like that. I like that response. Respect.
I'm just being honest because all that stuff that they holding on to, like, let's keep it real, man. A lot of these guys live in delusional world. Okay, these guys live in delusional world. They want the world to be what it's not. We in 2024. That's just like with Hassan Campbell, right? I'm gonna get into Hassan because he's one of those guys that like to push that he's not about the streets, but then in the same tongue he'll say, "I am the streets." A lot of these guys, like the 10 Toes Downs and all these guys, they all say they not about the streets. It's like I break it down like this. Has always been my slogan. You either old dog or you Sharif. You can't be both.
Wow.
You can't be both.
I heard you say that yesterday. Yeah, go ahead.
Facts. You can't be both. You cannot be on here promoting that you are for peace and positivity and you this and this and this and that and you want for your kids, but then you go on your platform saying I'm a killer, I'm the illest killer in Bronx River. Like these guys, they live in a delusional world. They live in a world where it's 2024, not 2002, not 1999, not 1998. The streets is not the same, brother. So if anybody that believes that the streets is still the same, you're sadly mistaken. When you have people that pick and choose who's a snitch and who's not a snitch, and they pick and choose, or they'll say, well, this one, like I said this about 1090J. I broke down the paperwork, had unspoken crimes, shout out to unspoken crimes, and Brian Blake, these brothers that came on my platform that brought all this paperwork. And these guys still refuse to say, well, he not no snitch. They lying on him. He's a real dude. They hating on him because he got clout. That's when I tell people all the time that all this street shit is a metaphor, and it's very mythological. People is going through a mythological metaphor that they believe is real. It's a lie. It's not real. Because 99% of these dudes is telling, and 99% of them is not living in a reality. These guys can't tell you what's their 401k plan that they got from the streets. They can't tell you what they doing for their family. They can't tell you anything that they passing down legacy wise to their kids. These guys wasn't no big deal guys in the streets, but they make themselves seem like they was bosses and they was this, and all these guys went to jail for assault, robberies, bullshit crimes, homicides, bullshit homicides.
That's deep. That's deep. So, Gotti, why you think the industry turned on Troy Ave after this incident happened? Specifically, let's talk about Mano and Uncle Murder and them guys. Like, why you think they turned their back on him?
I think because these guys are the guys I'm talking about. They like the Zip with the Drips, the Hassan Campbell types. These are guys that live in this delusional world. And these are guys in their 40s, man. Uncle Murder in his 40s. Mano in his 50s, right? These are guys that are up in age still talking about street shit. They haven't grown as men and as people that have children. These guys that got children that's growing up. And these guys is on platforms still pushing street shit. Instead of these guys trying to tell the youth, listen, let's stray away from that. This shit is a lie. But they still don't want to say it's a lie. They still want to push it in their music. They still want to push it in their platforms. They still want to be in the nightlife. They still want to do all the things that they say that is cool to them. These dudes, they don't live in reality themselves. You know, it's a lot of CB4 shit with them too. You know, a lot of these guys got a lot of CB4 shit with them.
Wow.
And they don't live in reality.
Wow. Troy Ave mentioned on his last show, he was like, yo, why isn't like Meek Mill and Jay-Z, who be preaching that police reform things, reaching out to help him out with his situation? Why do you think that is?
I think because you got to look at it is that Meek Mill, he's another one. He doesn't know if he's basically for the streets or he's for the righteousness. He 1 minute he's old, 1 minute he's Sharif, next minute he old dog. He don't know where he's staying. And that's another dude, delusional too. Because I watched his documentary. He said, I wasn't a street dude. I didn't have no guns. I wasn't street. That's what he said in his documentary on Amazon. So if you say that you was not street, you never did none of the things that you rapped about, so how can you talk about we got to keep it real and we got to kill all the snitches out the rap game? First of all, the guy Pop Hunter that had a career out there in Philadelphia, all he did was what his mother told him to do. His mother maybe is a civilian. She told him he witnessed a murder. He was 13 years old. Now, anybody that has parents and that it was a kid, you don't have a say-so of you don't want to do this and do that. Your parents have the say-so of what you're supposed to do. So he's 13 years old. His mother took him to the precinct, doing the right thing because his mother does not come from that lifestyle. So how can people blame him for doing something at 13 years old? That's irrational. That's irrational. A lot of these guys be lying and they don't be truthful with their shit. Everybody don't come from a house with a crackhead mother and a pops that's in the streets or a mother that's in the streets. Everybody come from a household where a mother was working and a pops may not be there, but somebody in the house was doing something.
That's a fact. That's deep. That's deep, man. Yeah, man. So as I listen to Troy Ave, you know, sometimes it sounds like he's kind of, in a sense, kind of like blaming his entourage for it going the way it did. Do you agree with that? Like he basically said that they left him for dead and all that.
I do agree with that because